I am sitting here with Rudy from Lytebox Photography, right?
That's correct, yes.
Right, Lytebox Photography. I actually saw you at a lot of Flying Cows games. Were you at you were at a few this year, right?
I was, but my intern actually shoots for them.
Oh.
And she is
I saw her.
Yeah,
Okay.
EA Pixels, that's her name.
Yeah.
She is a great photographer. She basically helps me out whenever I need it for a lot of jobs that I have, and I'm trying to help her with her process of getting to the next level.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's very nice of you to do that.
Yeah, well, I love what I do, and I want to bring as many people to this profession as possible because
Yeah.
it's a creative outlet that allows you to kind of communicate with the world, what's in your head, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, so you really look at the photos you take are an extension of you, how you're seeing that moment?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the reason why I'm in sports now is because I look at these kids as my superheroes, right? Because they are dynamic. They're, very athletic, very driven, and I want to bring the best out of them in the pictures, So that's
Yeah.
why I do sports.
Yeah, I think those photos, I think that actually works. I think that actually, the photos I've seen that you've taken, I think you do capture that essence.
I try, yeah.
And in those athletes.
Yeah.
And not even, I think I loved the way you took the photos for Frederick Lifestyle of the Flying Cows.
Yeah, it's a different perspective. I'm a kind of a grungy type of person, so I like kind of dark and lifelike, feelings, right? So whenever I take pictures, I try and bring out just the person, not the scenery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I enjoy that very much. I like working with Frederick Lifestyle because they were so awesome. I mean, every chance they get, they call me and give me another opportunity, which I'm absolutely surprised when they call me again. So.
Well, you shouldn't be surprised because I'll tell you about the pictures for the Flying Cows. So I was their MC this year.
Okay.
And got to know the players pretty well, Coach Ed pretty well. What you captured in the individuals was just so interesting to me because it really did tell the personal story rather than the teammate story, right? So it really captured the individual on their own right. And I think that that's really interesting how you did that.
Well, I'm glad you noticed that because that's what I was trying to do. I don't like, it to be very obvious as to what's happening. I wouldn't mind somebody reading into the picture, looking at the picture and saying, oh, well, I know that guy's story almost just by looking at him, And I wanted to make sure that I gave them the opportunity to be themselves too.
Yeah.
I know that Kristen from Frederick Lifestyle, she gave me, some input as to what she wanted and she allowed me to do kind of what I wanted to do. So,
yeah, she's good at directing,
Yeah.
but good at also letting you do your craft
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
way you see it. So she's very good at that as well. So you started in photography because your mom got you a camera.
Oh yeah. So that was back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I'm telling my age, of course.
Well,
but,
that's I'm right there with you. It's all good.
But she gave me a camera, and believe it or not, at the time I couldn't afford the film. So I would pretend to shoot pictures, with this camera that didn't have any film.
Oh, wow.
So whenever I became of age to make my own money and all of that stuff, I started buying film, and I already knew kind of how to operate the camera because of those clicks that I was doing with the camera. So anyway, my passion started back then because I used to love National Geographic and Sports Illustrated, all of those different magazines, and it kind of stuck with me the whole time. So whenever I had the opportunity to build on that, that's what I did with photography.
Yeah,
So,
that's very good though. You kind of established this foundation of technique without even, seeing the results, which is really interesting because your imagination probably were capturing those moments. And
I was
how
doing
you
my best.
visualized it. Yeah. Excellent. So you kind of fell into the sports realm of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So initially, I started out with my cousin. We started this together, And he's since then moved on, I think around 2015 or so. And at that time, we were trying to, develop a portrait graphic design type of company, but it didn't quite work out that way because we got pulled more to sports, right?
Yeah.
And we would get portraits every now and then, and that wasn't really helping very much, right?
Yeah.
So we decided to just go full in on it. And when he left, I just kind of took the reins of it and just tried to develop it into something that I really wanted it to be. So
yeah. And at the beginning, you were working full time. You told me.
Yes.
You're an engineer.
Yeah. I was working for a company called Northrop Grumman. I don't know if you knew.
Yes.
But they created some air traffic control equipment, and I worked international for almost 12 years. And my wife came to me and she said, hey, look, you got to get off the road. And that's when I decided to take a different job as a project manager for a test equipment company. And I stayed there until about 2015.
Yeah.
And I decided not to go back into that profession.
Yeah.
It was a little stressful.
Yeah. And, I think life tells us sometimes that a change of direction is sometimes going to do you good.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of us think about, the money, the benefits, the this, the that, but when it all comes down to it, I think we realize the most important things are family, and being around for a long time.
Absolutely.
So,
it's not worth your health.
No, it's not worth your health. Nothing is worth your health. Is there any one or any kind of thing that you haven't photographed yet that you'd really like to?
Well, no, actually.
That's pretty good.
I'm not going to say I photographed everything, but I like people, so I try and stick with different personalities. So I'm not into famous people. I don't like that because those people, they already have a following. I like to meet people and make them the star of that particular moment. You know what I mean? So as I was telling you earlier, the kids that I take pictures of are the kids or people that I lived through. They are the superstars for me at the moment, and I want them to continue to be that. So if I take a picture of them, I want them to have that picture and look back on it and say, hey, that was me in that photo. So it kind of gives them self-esteem, and it gives something back to me.
And I think it's important when you, as a third party, are able to capture something, and especially a child or an athlete. Their parents probably have taken a bazillion photos of them, but they're looking at it through a totally different lens, literally and figuratively. I think when somebody else comes in, again, I think people go, that's how someone else is viewing me.
Yes.
And being a focus or central point. I think it's really, really interesting.
Absolutely. And I do a couple of political figures here in Frederick, and I enjoy that. But it also brings me back to being personable. I don't like doing a lot of group photos, and that's why the school thing really isn't really meshing with me too much, because when you have multiple kids that you have to take pictures of, you can't really develop a personal connection to those kids, right? But whenever I'm one-on-one with them, I can kind of develop something that I wouldn't normally see in a photo. So
how do you get your subjects to relax?
I let them be themselves. I don't want to direct anybody to do anything. I think most photographers are kind of like that. They have we're like-minded people, so we want to catch the moment as it happens. We don't want to direct them to be this or that.
Right.
If you pose a person, most of the time you're not getting that person. You're getting what you want. So I know I'm terrible because I always ask, what should I do with my hands? I'm very awkward. But most photographers have to pay attention too. I mean, you look and observe, the person and their demeanor, and then you try and put that in the photo.
And I feel much more relaxed if I'm just doing my thing.
And
absolutely. The photo is captured rather than sit here and be natural. Because
I do
then
understand
I'm not.
that. I understand.
I don't feel
that.
like I'm being natural. But
right. I understand that completely, but
Yeah.
you know, most of the time, believe it or not, I don't like taking photos either.
Yeah.
You know,
Having photos
my,
taken of you?
oh my goodness, this right here is scary to me,
I know
right?
you said.
But you know,
We each have our thing, I guess.
we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But I love being behind the camera,
Yeah.
and I love capturing moments for other people. So
Yeah. So where can people reach out to you if they'd like for you to come take their picture?
Well, I'm mainly on Instagram, but I do dabble in Facebook. So Lytebox Photography is
Yeah.
the only one to spell Lytebox.
Yeah.
So, and that's the reason why we did it that way, because we wanted to be separate from the normal way that you would spell it, right? Everything else was taken up .com, right? So we
got
had to
creative,
right?
and there you go.
We had to come up with something different.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have any goals that you'd like to achieve this year?
I am trying to be more of a portrait photographer.
Okay.
I want to hone in my skills for that, and still develop some personal connections with sports figures here in Frederick. I am really trying to develop the certain organizations and helping organizations here in Frederick that helps underprivileged kids.
Okay.
So that's something I want to get more into. I love, you know, being able to provide to people who can't really afford it.
Sure.
You know, so.
Well, I think that this is what the nonprofits need to do, is you need to get more creative, where you may not be able to write a check. You may be able to introduce you to work through somebody else that is paid handsomely, that makes up for
I like that
free stuff that you're doing.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
No, really,
Yeah.
it's like getting a corporate sponsor.
Yes.
To help fund
Yes.
your photos by
Absolutely.
getting the work paid through them. That's
like
what
that.
I would like to see, because I think even for me, same thing. Can you MC an event? I'd love to.
Right.
I'd love to support it.
Yes.
You know, eventually I'd love to get paid for all of that
Right.
sort of stuff.
So you're in
But
the same
there
boat.
are other, yeah,
Yeah.
but there's other ways. So what I always offer is, hey, can you trade with somebody that has something that I would like?
Yeah.
You know, maybe some gift cards to here, or maybe it doesn't have to be cash.
Right, right.
Get creative though. Don't
Yeah.
just ask for free. See what you can offer and see what you can put forth.
I'm
'Cause-
absolutely all about the bartering.
yeah, and
you
you're
know.
you're talented, and
Yeah.
that your talent should be paid for. So you are looking for things like headshots, senior portraits, those sorts of things.
All of those kind of
Okay.
things, and I really loved working with the downtown political groups because, like I said, I like to maintain a connection. Those connections lead to other connections,
Sure.
right? And that led me to quite a few small businesses here in Frederick that I wouldn't normally have access to. you
Yeah.
know.
Well, we hope you get access to lots more of them.
Thank you.
Check out Rudy, Lytebox, Lytebox, Lytebox Photography. You can look them up on Instagram and even Facebook and on the web, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
Yes, okay. And you can book his services if you want amazing portraits. This is where you got to go.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
I appreciate you sharing your platform
Yes.
with me.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. We thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.